There we go. Now we're connected. Gosh, it always takes about 15 seconds. Apparently, I'm discovering that at the end of the video, you also have to pause after you last speak before hitting that closeout button, or I'll be cut off. Apparently, that happened yesterday. I apologize. If you're watching on the playback, you may want to skip through the first couple of minutes just so I have time to set up the live and bring people into the chat. Oh, hey, Kelly. Hold on a second. Let me just set up the iPad. Yeah, I don't know if you saw yesterday's video, but I had to do some housekeeping. Apparently, there were too many mods, and everybody, well, not everybody, but about 15 or 16 people got blocked instead of timed out, and I had to just wipe the slate clean. So I apologize if you haven't been able to tune in. I very much apologize. I've learned a lot the last few weeks. Let me just set this up. Yeah, it takes a while to get people in here. Also, last night, the video got cut off. There's so much to learn here. Apparently, there's like settings on the back end. Let's see. Oh, it's not letting me bring up the and symbol. Shout out and type horn. I don't know why I have to set this up every single time. Maybe another YouTuber can answer that question. There we go. Okay, that's set. Hopefully you guys can hear me. We've got 3 people in here. One of those people is probably my iPad. I know today's a holiday. In the Christian religion, it is Good Friday. That was actually supposed to be my birthday, was Good Friday, but I came early. I liked it as a child because it got us out of school like at noon, I remember, back in the day. Hey, Kermudge, how you doing? Hey, I see you put out a new video. I'm going to watch it tonight. I've just been really busy here and had a lot of things going on. Yeah, you're one of the 3 surviving mods, Kermudge. I went into the back end of YouTube into Studio and found out that there were a lot of people that had been blocked, and I had to clear the block list completely out. And so I just took everybody down except for 3. Oh, you're going live. Oh, definitely I'll be there. I will be there, Kermudge. Thanks for reminding me. I think I have it set, like, to remind me, but hey, 22 people. I'm April Davis, PI. I'm in Los Angeles, California, and yes, I really am a legit licensed private investigator. And, you know, today we're still waiting for the safe return of Nancy Guthrie. And I just think it's not looking good. Oh, don't worry about it, Kelly. Hey, Jane. Hey, Kathy. Nice to see you again. Hey, Al Perez. Or no, Al. We'll just call you Al. Okay. See this? This is a police report. This just arrived in my email the night before last. It's from Chelan County Sheriff's Office in the state of Washington. I don't know if I'm pronouncing, is it Chelan or Shallon? If anybody here is from Washington, let me know. Yes, Al, I hope they will find her. I don't think she's no longer with us. I don't think she's with us, but thank you, Kathy. But I still want them to solve this case and find her and lock up indefinitely for the rest of their lives, whoever did this. This is horrible. I get very emotional about it. But, you know, through this, we have met a lot of different characters. There is a long-form content video about the list of suspects in no particular order, just as their names, you know, came out, and then the next character came out. Because this is like a play or a teleplay or a movie. Hey, Kathy! Welcome in, Kathy! Kathy just became a channel member. That makes 2. Now, I do have some members, though, that I gifted. So if you see like the little star by their name, Curmudge, you are one of the people that was gifted, because I just needed to practice. But I am going to take your advice that I need to slow down on those gifts, just because I could be costing myself memberships by doing that. And remember, I have not made a dime yet. So I really appreciate your advice, Curmudge. I don't know if you were here when I talked about, well, let me just get into this story, but I learned the difference between an Apple donation versus a non-Apple donation, the Android. That's why Androids, you get 70%, but Apple, you get less than 50%. So 27 people in here. Let's talk about this. Chelan County Sheriff's Office. And this didn't cost me a dime, because remember, I'm not investigating anybody here. I'm simply reporting. Hey, Tricia, thanks for coming back. I just want to say that everybody on my channel is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And just because we have a police report and they have charges listed, the suspect in this report has, to my knowledge, never been arrested for this crime, never been charged for this crime, and definitely hasn't been sentenced or convicted. Oh my God! Kathy! Oh my God! This is for Kathy. Thank you so much. That's the biggest donation that I ever had. Oh my God, I could cry. That's the biggest donation, and I just started monetization at the end of March. So the little that I made in March, I won't get a payment this April. It's going to have to carry over till at least May 21st. So that means the world to me, Kathy. Thank you so much. So this report, they blocked out the addresses and the driver's license numbers, but it's basically between Jamie Tennille Phillips, female, against Jonathan Lee Riches, male. The addresses have been deleted. I will never give out addresses in my channel. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh, God. Oh my God, you guys! Oh my God! Oh my gosh! Thank you. And that is in a different type of currency. What currency is that, Sarab? Let me know. Let me know what currency that is. It's $69.90. Curmudge, are you still here? Do you know what type of currency that is? Is that like $1 million in US money, or is that like 20 cents? Thank you. Thank you, Sarab. Oh, that is so kind of you, sir. Are you a male or a female? And where are you coming in from? What country are you coming in from? Because I see that's my first donation ever that is of a different currency. Wow. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, let me know what country you're coming in from. Hey, Daniel. Not sure, says Curmudge. It's weird currency. Where is it from, Sarap? You are a man. I kind of had that feeling, sir. Where are you coming in from? What currency is that? I'm just curious, because I don't recognize that symbol, and I've never seen that symbol on somebody else's lives, because I watch a lot of lives. Hey, Eddie, welcome in. Okay, let's get back to this. If anybody catches that currency in the chat, let me know. If anybody knows what it is, that's today's question. What type of currency was that super chat from Sarap_null? Hello, where are you coming in from, Eddie? Okay, here's the report. Remember, everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I will say that until I'm blue in the face. And remember, these are allegations by this Miss Jamie Tennille Phillips, who apparently has since relocated to Arkansas, because on this report, she is listed in the same city in Florida as Jonathan Lee Riches. And we all know, because he talks about it all the time on his very successful YouTube channel, he talks about living in the Tampa area. So I'm not going to name the city. The address is blocked out. I'm sure I could look it up. I don't care. But remember, these are allegations. Eddie, you're in Maryland. I used to live in Maryland. I lived in the D.C. area when I was a teenager. Okay, where in Maryland are you at, Eddie? I was in Silver Spring, but briefly. I am eating right now. Okay. Narrative. Okay, let's just get straight to it. We don't even want to read the narrative. I'm going to read this a little bit to you, and then I want you guys to tell me what you think. Because whenever, me being a detective, I have investigated a lot of domestic abuse claims and SA claims, especially in the workplace. And, it's 50-50. Oh, it's an Israeli shekel. Oh, wow. Thank you for answering that, Tricia. Okay, this happened on Christmas Day, 2025, 12/25/25 at approximately 10:21 hours. Deputy Talley was working uniform patrol and driving a fully marked patrol vehicle. I responded to the All Season River Inn. That was in Leavenworth, Washington. I'll have to look that up. Somebody make a note to look into Leavenworth, Washington. Is that near Seattle? Okay. The victim reporting party identified herself as Jamie T. Phillips. Jamie told dispatch she received an injury to her nose from a fight last night with her boyfriend, Jonathan Riches, and his date of birth is here. And by the way, they're very close to the same age. Thank you, Tricia. Rivercom was also informed Jonathan had taken Jamie's phone and left last night. Now, did he just leave or did he flee? We don't know. I arrived at the location at the same time as Aide. We contacted Jamie at the main door. I could visibly see bruising around Jamie's right eye, consistent with being in the early stages of a black eye. I could also see a small red mark on the upper right corner of the bridge of Jamie's nose. Her nose was visibly not straight and resembled what I have observed through training and experience to be broken. Jamie requested we all speak in the room where her belongings were, which is the Shenandoah room. Shenandoah? Yeah, room at this location. I don't know what that means because it's an inn, but they were staying in the Shenandoah room. Does anybody know what that means? Let's see. Hey, Jason. Jamie advised sometime between 2300 hours to midnight last night, meaning Christmas. It would have been. Oh, it would have been Christmas Eve then that this actually happened. She had confronted Jonathan about things she observed on his work phone. Jamie stated it was things such as communication with other women and what she described to be, the P word. Let's see. Jamie stated, I'll get to the messages as soon as I get done reading this paragraph. Jamie stated that when she addressed this with Jonathan, he became enraged and struck her with a closed fist multiple times on the side of the head, her nose, and her ribs. Jamie stated she grabbed her phone and began to dial 911 for help, but Jonathan saw her doing this, took her phone from her, and said, "I will effing kill you." I asked Jamie if she believed this threat to be true. She stated she believed he would unalive her. Jamie stated she believes at some point she lost consciousness after the assault, but remembered Jonathan grabbing two bags, his personal cell phone, Jamie's cell phone, and then leaving. I asked Jamie what phone she currently had, and she stated it was Jonathan's work phone that he had left behind. Jamie stated she did not know where he went, but believed he may have taken the white Jeep Compass they had rented. I observed a white Jeep Compass to be parked outside prior to making contact with Jamie. Now, that turned out to be a different Jeep. I asked Jamie if she would be willing to have her injuries photographed for documentation. Jamie agreed. Due to most of the medics on the scene and myself to be male, one of the areas of injury requiring Jamie to lift her shirt, I asked a female medic if she would be willing to take photos of Jamie's injuries with my department issued cell phone in the bathroom of the hotel room, to which she agreed and completed. These photos will be uploaded for evidence. Upon completion of documenting the injuries, Jamie was transported to the Cascade Medical Center for evaluation. Now remember, innocent until proven guilty. I have investigated quite a few of these, especially in the workplace. Sometimes the allegations are true, and sometimes they are totally false. Does anybody remember the Major League Baseball player? Yes, I'm a baseball fanatic. Does anybody remember Trevor Bauer? And, like 3 different women went after him. Not one of them ended up getting him charged. He lost his Major League Baseball career. Now, you may not like him. A lot of the teammates didn't like him, said he was a cancer on the team. But none of those allegations from any of those 3 women were ever proven. He was never even charged here in LA County. Never. And you realize that if you make a false police report, that is a crime. It's not just a civil issue, it's a criminal issue. Someone said here yesterday on this show, there's nothing like a woman scorned. It was either yesterday's show or the day before, because I had mentioned, I must have been yesterday, because I mentioned I had received this, that something had popped up in my email the night before. This is an allegation. Now, she did go to Cascade Medical Center, and she went to emergency room number 3. She did complete a medical release so that the police would have access to her emergency room records. Jamie stated that Jonathan had been texting the work phone, knowing he left it behind. He told Jamie he was 100 miles away from her and in the middle of nowhere. Jamie could not confirm the Jeep Compass still parked at the hotel was their rental. It turned out it wasn't. But due to it being the only one there, all the other guest vehicles accounted for, this was most likely the vehicle. It turned out it was somebody else who had a white Jeep Compass in the hotel parking lot. Jamie believed Jonathan to most likely still be in the area, and their flight was going to leave the next day, which would require them to travel back to Seattle, return the vehicle to SeaTac, that's the airport in Seattle where it was rented. I was also advised that Jamie, in August of this year, that she was on a work trip with Jonathan in Charlotte. This was when she first found out about his infidelity and P issues. She stated, I can't say the word, so it's a 4-letter word. She stated she confronted him and he attacked her in the hotel they were staying at, and that was allegedly in Charlotte, North Carolina. Jamie stated it was similar to this. He assaulted her violently and then took their rental car and drove back to Florida where they live. So apparently they live at the same house, or they did. Because remember, this woman has since filed a temporary restraining order in the state of Arkansas, and that is still to be worked out. Jamie stated there is a long history of Jonathan assaulting her in their almost 3-year dating relationship. She stated that she knows she should have left many times before this, but hasn't. Jamie stated Jonathan needs to be held accountable for what he did. Well, if he did assault a woman, then the Chelan County Sheriff's Office, they need to put out a warrant for his arrest. But if he didn't do it, then this woman, this Jamie, should be held accountable and be charged for filing a false police report. Now, there is documented evidence of a black eye and bruising. She did go to a hospital. Doesn't mean that it happened. Tricia says, never upset a woman ever. Let's see. What have I missed? You guys are just chatting with each other, which is fine. Thank you, best wishes. This is very interesting how they find people years later who have been kidnapped still alive. Yes, I heard about that in Arizona, but they're not speaking about it. Just that a woman was kidnapped as a child and she's been found 32 years later. Hi, Charlotte. I missed you coming in because I was reading this police report. I hope you're still here, Charlotte. Where are you coming in from? So that's the latest on that. This was very easy to get. A lot of police departments don't allow people to have these things without subpoena. But this is Washington. Maybe they're more open than they are here in California. Even PIs here have a lot of problems getting police reports, so I just usually subpoena them. So apparently now Jonathan has traveled back to Tucson, where he is back, boots on the ground, investigating the Nancy Guthrie case. This woman apparently has relocated to Arkansas, so she must have moved out of the house in Florida. I assume it was the same house since it has the same city and zip code, but the address, you can probably look it up online, but I don't give out addresses here. Not a fan of women having to prove without a shadow of a doubt that they were treated roughly versus a man simply saying it never happened in the man's world being enough. Yeah, I agree with that. A lot of women don't even come forward, especially women that are victims of SA, even including the R word. Like they're just too scared, and they should come forward because, if this guy did do this to her, he could do it again to another woman if he hasn't done so already. But we don't know this. We don't know anything about this woman in her past, other than she accused some politician in the state of Alabama of impregnating her. The topic today, Fabian, is the police report from Shallon County, Washington, on Jonathan Lee Riches. But we don't know. Like, anything could have happened. Let's see. I'm going to go back down. Somebody said this currency was Israeli. Israeli what? What is the? It's probably not called the dollar. What is it called? You said 2204 US dollars. Well, you know what? That's still the biggest donation I've ever had. I saw that $69 and I was like, oh my God. But it was 69 Israeli. Oh, you did tell me, Tricia. Is it a shekel or a shekel? Israeli shekel. That is so cool. That's amazing. And I love like currency and coins and, like precious metals. And I watch a lot of these Whatnot shows because I'm still on Whatnot, but I haven't been doing many shows lately, but I still watch. And I love to go into the shows where they have the old currency and they have the old like silver coins. And I've got a big bucket that's like this big that's just full of foreign coins. And when I metal detected for years, I started these big black notebooks, 1 year after the next, I've got currency from all over the world, but I don't know if I have any Israeli coins. That's interesting. So these are Israeli shekels. Well, thank you so much. That's amazing. And thank you, Kathy, for becoming a paid member. Like you have no idea how much all of you guys mean to me. And I'm going to check. Oh, hi, Mike. He's in here. I'm looking at the iPad just to make sure that that the chat is lining up. I'm not sitting at the desk today, so if there's messages that I'm missing, I may not be seeing them here. Have you heard he has a citation for court for harassing Nerdy? No. Is Nerdy another YouTuber? Let me know, Fabian. Kathy, that's where I want to go. She says, I will eventually go to the Space Needle. I got enticed while watching Grey's Anatomy. I never saw the show. Can you believe this? I have never seen one episode. And one of my neighbors did some of the music for the show. And the next day, she was like number 2 on like Apple, like for her song. And then there's actually a main character that came in to that show. I don't think she was there from the beginning, but I've met her many times in her childhood. Jessica Capshaw was in that show. But, she was a grown woman by then. Yeah, like I was like, oh my God, I know so many people, or I've met so many people, or work with so many people that there's probably not a show in LA that you could name that I don't have a connection to somehow. But yeah, I've never seen that show, and apparently it's excellent. Okay, what time is your live, Kermudge? Because I'd like to be there. Is Kermudge still here, or did I miss him? Yeah, he's got a live show coming up. Hugs back to you, Kermudge. I'll see you in your show later. Tricia, know that if you ever get a yen, know that 1 million yens is equal to $1. Yeah. Do you mean like a Japanese yen, or is that what you're referring to? Which type of yen? Yes, happened like 2 days ago at the Tucson airport. So is Nerdy, he's another YouTuber that's been boots on the ground for the Nancy Guthrie case, and he got into it with this guy at the airport? You binged it twice in 6 months. Oh, you mean the TV show we were talking about? They have been having a back and forth feud on X for the last couple of days. And why am I not surprised that the guy is on X? I used to be on X. I mean, I guess I still am, but I just don't post there anymore. I follow Threads now. Jet Set. Hey, Jet Set. You have lost track of some of this the last few days. Well, you can always go to the replays. You know, for those of you who don't know, I did release a long form content video earlier this week. It hasn't got a whole lot of views because people are watching me live more than they're watching my videos. But it's a very interesting list of suspects. And it doesn't mean that those are the only one. Those are just the ones that have come out, you know, like been mentioned in the media as either suspects or somehow remotely involved or linked to or questioned, detained. You can do a raid. Hey, Sarah. Remember, people, today, not this date, because Easter changes every year as far as when it falls. Thank you so much, sir. I was supposed to be born on Good Friday. Yeah, Good Friday a long, long time ago. And I came 4 days early. Oh, I didn't even see that. Trisha, thank you for taking care of some business. Hey, recluse in the house. How you doing there? I've been saying recluse, but it's probably recluse. Sometimes my pronunciations are a bit off. And for everybody that blew up my comments yesterday after the show, remember, I was only going to go on for a few minutes because the plumbers were coming. Well, I thought it was going to be a single plumber, but it ended up being 2 plumbers I've never seen before. And they did arrive and they did fix the bathroom sink. Yes, the drain is good now. But when they came, I was on live and I had to go to the door. You guys all heard me talking to them. And then I came back and I was like, listen, I really need to get off the air. We've already gone 2 hours and I need to get to the plumbers. And apparently with YouTube, it's just like when I come on and it says recording live, I still have to wait about 10 to 15 seconds before I start talking, or it'll cut me off at the beginning of the video. And apparently the same applies at the end when I say, okay, everybody, we're going to, see you later and have a nice evening and love you all. There has to be a delay between the time I do the outro and hit the closeout button, because if I do it too quick, it'll cut my words out. And my comments were blowing up, even emails like, hey, I was watching your video and all of a sudden you weren't there anymore. You were talking to the plumbers and you were just gone. And it was like the power went out or something. So that's probably what happened. And I did watch the replay all the way to the end. And apparently you guys just missed a couple of words. So I apologize for that. Prayers that this plumbing repair holds. They fixed it rather quickly. And I wasn't sure. They work for some construction company. And I'm like, I've never seen you before. I was looking for the bald guy. I don't remember his name. And they were like, George? And I'm like, I'm not sure, but he's been here for years. And they're like, don't worry, we'll take care of it. And they had the right tools that plumbers would have, especially a special wrench that is needed to remove the trap. But and there was 2 of them. They could not get the trap off that the last plumber had put back on. So I thought, well, can they just snake it from the top? They ended up not snaking the drain, and they ended up not removing the trap. They just went in through the top. So manually. So let's see how long, Trisha, that holds. I'm like, okay, there's 2 plumbers here, and neither one of them, and they had that wrench, and they were like, hee ho, and they couldn't, and they didn't want to break it because the vanity is about this wide. So they didn't want to, the pipe to snap off from the bottom of the sink. Well, let's hope it holds until after company comes and goes. Yes. And I don't know that I'm going to have that company on my birthday because, like I said, one of them's got to work. That's their biggest work day is on Sunday. And I know that my friend, she's taking some private clients on top of her other 2 jobs that she has. And the daughter, they just had a baby in December, like the very end of December. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get together this year, but Hopefully we will. It may not be like actually on my birthday, but hopefully we will. Either way, I think I'll do a live show and just say, hey, it's my birthday. And maybe someone will send me some Israeli, is it shekels? Very interesting. Wow. 4. I've never had one person donate 4 times in a show. And I was so excited that I just saw 69 something. And I was like, oh my God. And then I got closer to the screen and I'm like, oh, it's a different currency. But still, that's the biggest I've ever received. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's amazing. I didn't expect that. Oh, 690 is 220. Okay. Yeah, 220 times 3 plus the other donation. That's amazing. Because, right now I've been following the analytics on the back end in YouTube Studio, and I'm still not making much for the views. But you know what? What's kind of makes me a little sad? I mean, I'm so glad all you guys came in for the Nancy Guthrie series, which we're still going to continue to do. But I had more views for that than any other thing I've ever done on YouTube. And most of those views don't count because I didn't get monetized until very late at night, March 25th. And I started that series on February the 2nd. So all those views that you guys did between the 2nd and the evening of March 25th, none of them counted for monetization. And I had over like 100,000 views. So that would have been, something. Yes, Joseph Duggar is a hot topic. I know that he's back in Arkansas, and there's another YouTuber, and she's very educated, and she's a professional YouTuber who makes a living from this, and she knows everything about the Duggars. Hey, Leanne Navarez, welcome in. Happy Good Friday to you. I could be on my way to getting a check in May. I hope so. Because you know what? My new ring light came today. So since I started these lives, I've lost the receiver to the microphones, the adapter, since I'm using a very old iPhone 13, and I've lost a ring lamp. I have heard that Joseph Duggar and his wife Kendra had gifted a house to her parents prior to all of this happening. And she comes from a large family too. There's lots of kids and, that range from, like her age to babies. And supposedly, I don't know if this is true because I'm not an expert on the Duggars and I've been busy following the Nancy Guthrie and all the characters or actors, as I call them in that case. Apparently, they are maybe in the process of kicking her parents and siblings out of the house that was gifted to them because they don't have squat right now. And Jim Bob had to bail out Joseph out of jail in Bay County, Florida, in Panama City. Now, the crime was occurring or allegedly occurred in Panama City Beach, but the actual jail is in Panama City. And, Jim Bob and him were seen in an airport. So everybody believes that it was Jim Bob that made the arrangements to put up the $600,000 bail. Oh my God, says Trisha. Sync fix, new ring lamp, and big donations today. Happy Good Friday. I know, The only thing that kind of went wrong today is I didn't realize that the Dodger game from Washington, D.C. was coming on at 10 a.m. And I don't sleep well at night. And I get up early to take some blood pressure meds, but then I go back to sleep. And while I went back to sleep, I went and got the ring lamp box because they deliver these things like at 4 a.m. now. Like it's been sitting out there since probably 4 a.m. I grabbed my blood pressure meds, grabbed the box, and went back to bed. And when I woke up, the Dodger game was already in the 6th inning, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And for the first time this year, the over $1 billion offense started hitting. But, it's kind of like the Nationals Park is kind of like a Little League ballpark. The fences are kind of close. And Dodger Stadium has very long outfields, and the fences are way out there. So it's harder to hit in Dodger Stadium. So they had a great game, and I missed the first 6 innings. So, yeah, that was the only thing that didn't go right today. But I got a lot done around the house, and I did get the ring lamp set up. And what's really cool is it's got this little bracket in here where I could put a cell phone. But my eyes are very sensitive to light, but you can put the cell phone in there, and it's got like the little remote control you can push to turn it on. It connects Bluetooth. So you can use this little remote and go click, and it'll turn on your phone if you want to film yourself with the light bulbs in your face. Let's see. What have I missed here? I'm glad you guys are chatting amongst yourselves. Kathy, can I say that? Oh my gosh, Jim Bob has shot his own. I don't think I can say that word. I appreciate that. You know what? That's the best comment today. Trisha, that's the best comment today. Yes, but you should be well on your way now to getting a check in May. Yeah! Oh my God, but you guys watch the videos. And there's so many of you here that don't realize that this is just the lives, and that most of the videos that I've ever filmed in my entire YouTube, I won't say career, but journey, you just go click the video tab on the main channel page, and the main page of the home page of my channel, April Davis PI, and click videos. And you can see there is a long, it's about 23, 24-minute video, and it goes over like, okay, this is what happened from February 1st, and then this person was named, and then this person, and then this person, and I just go down the list. And so there's not an order of like, well, this is the number one suspect, and it may be none of these people. It's just this is the order that this person was mentioned, which then brought this person in, and then this person got detained, and then this person got detained, and this person may or may not be connected to this person, and it just goes through the whole thing. And the people that have seen it actually have given me a lot of positive comments on it. So make sure you guys go see that video. That's really important. Tricia says you watched it. Your lives are great. We never chat about one topic. Well, is that a good thing or a bad thing that I don't chat about just one topic? Because my biggest problem when starting YouTube is that I didn't pick a niche. Most channels are a niche channel. And you can watch all these experts who say, you should do a niche channel if you're going to be successful on YouTube. But I didn't do it to be successful. I didn't do it to have a niche. I didn't do it to make money. I did it to document my life as I was recovering from stage 3 cancer. It had nothing to do with any of the things that we talk about on this channel. It was for me. It was therapeutic for me. And it just seems that over the years, it's kind of shifted more towards a news channel. Yes, that's a good point, Tricia. I am still very curious as to why the dailies were ever taken in for questioning. And I think I know the answer to this. It wasn't because they were interested in him, not necessarily, unless Kayla ratted something out while she was being held on the drug warrants. It seems to me they were interested in Luke Daly because of that car that he had just bought. They were more interested in the car. They released him within a couple of hours, but they towed away that car. Oh, the FBI, right out of the Culver's parking lot. And they had the yellow blanket around, almost like a crime scene. Like, oh, don't look in the trunk. There was nothing in the trunk but a bunch of bags. So it wasn't a trunk because it was an SUV, but in the rear, in the cargo area, there was a bunch of bags, and all the deputies were like holding up the yellow blanket, like, whoa, is there a person in there that's no longer living? Like, they were interested in that car. And he has since said in the news interview with, is her name Brianna Whitney from Tucson, one of the local news stations? He has said that he bought that car the day after that this Nancy Guthrie thing happened. And remember, it had paper tags and it had a license plate rim that said MG Motors. And that's the car dealership that's associated with Zach Jaghoob. Okay? But Zach Jaghoob was like, oh, I'm in, another country. I haven't lived there since 2019. Well, he may not have technically lived in the United States since 2019, but he's certainly been here quite a bit in Los Angeles and in Tucson. And he's a car guy. And if you do a deep, deep, deep dive on the internet, the company that he worked for, there's some questionable activity amongst one of the owners. And so his name came in because that dealership had a Range Rover listed on their website, but it wasn't the same Range Rover. But that Range Rover did have the MG Motors tag, and this Zach Jaghoob, who is Jordanian, but he's Persian Jordanian, I believe. And a lot of people, oh my God. Thank you, Sarah. Okay. A lot of people, and I'm not saying this, but a lot of people, this is a record, Sarah. You better come in on my birthday, April 12th, dude. Just saying. This Jordanian man, who apparently is from Amman, Jordan, but yet he has ties to the United Arab Emirates, in particular Dubai. This guy's got money. He's also got ties to Kuwait. I've seen him in Turkey. I've seen him in Lebanon, Miami, Los Angeles, Tucson. And I don't know. It's like one of those high-end car dealerships with luxury cars. And it's in friggin' Tucson. And I'm not saying that this guy is connected, but a lot of people, when they saw Luke Daly detained that evening, thought that he was detained too, which I don't even think he was around that night. He was not even possibly in the country that night, but there was a report that a man had unalived himself the same evening in the Culver's parking lot in a white van. And that was totally not true. So it says 5829. Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. How many of those did we had 4? We've had 3 more, like 7? Let's see. Oh, 1, 2, 3. And we had 3 before. Is it 7? I don't even know. I've lost count. Do your job, Maud. No, I'm kidding. You got to realize this is very distracting because I have this screen, I have the iPad screen, and I'm watching Jackie and Shadow. For those that know about the Friends of Big Bear Valley bald eagles, they have a pip today. So that means there should be a baby coming soon, a baby hatchling. And we're just sitting on, I'm literally right now, I'm holding on, sitting on the edge of my sofa, like with tears in my eyes, because these eagles mean everything to us in Southern California. These eagles are like our babies, and they've had it so hard the last few years, and they may lose their land and their nest, and it's such an emotional thing. And the lady that ran this whole outfit, she passed away this season, and now the babies are probably coming, and they already lost the first clutch. So I'm watching that with tears in my eyes. So there's a lot going on here. But to answer the question of who said, I got to go through all these super chats. Was it Trisha or Kathy that asked the question about why what is the reason that Luke Daly was picked up? So it's one of two things. Either Kayla, who he claims is not his girlfriend, but they are definitely connected. They've even been arrested together in the past. She either said something that pointed the investigation his way, or the more likely scenario is it's the car. It's that darn Range Rover that does have the MB Motors tag, but it's not the one that was on the MB Motors site. Apparently, that car was sold privately through Craigslist, and the owner may have been Saidon Hamad El Jaghub, who I believe is Persian, although he is apparently from Amman, Jordan, which would make him Persian Jordanian. And the internet, if you do a TikTok search, his face kind of resembles the sketch that there's a lady in Houston who's a very famous sketch artist, where she takes just like, a piece of a face, or, the guy in the mask, and then she tries to draw a picture of, this is what I think the guy would look like without the mask. And if you put the mask guy and his face in her sketch, it rings a lot of alarm bells. It doesn't mean that the guy was even in the country when this happened. He just woke up in Jordan one morning and was like, what the F? Like, why is my Instagram blowing up? Like, what's going on? Like, I've got 66,000 followers, and I just went to bed and woke up with 66,000 followers. Like, this guy may have nothing to do with it, but I want to know who owned the car when Luke Daly bought it, because I think he got pulled over because of the car. I think. But there are things that we don't know. Remember, the Nancy Guthrie case is a 500-piece puzzle, and we only have 5 to 10% of the pieces, meaning we, the public. And I'm not investigating this in any way. I have my suspicions. I think it was more than one person, and I think there is a ringleader who arranged all this, and all these characters, actors, yahoos, knuckleheads, whatever you want to call them, they're just paid participants. They are paid participants. I don't necessarily think the people that took her are the ones that are after a financial gain from this. I have hit 8 out of 10. Let me check that. It says I have 14 minutes and 23 seconds left. Wow, could we get it to 10, people? I've never hit 8 out of 10. And I think 7 of those belong to Serap. Well, welcome to my channel, Serap. Feel free to go purchase a membership since you're just throwing out the money today. I really appreciate you. Let's see. Okay, Tricia says, let me get back to this. Let me go up. I know, Leanne, a baby. Could be 2. I saw one of the eggs moving yesterday, and the eagles are listening with their ears because they're hearing little chirps inside the egg. So let's fingers crossed, everybody. If it happens while I'm on air, you'll see me burst into tears. Jet Set. Car could have been picked up on a license plate reader in the area. True. That's a very big possibility. But he lived in the area with his mother, Mary Daly. Tricia says, I wondered if it was because he was a small-time thug and a car that could have been seen in the neighborhood. Possible. That's why I think Carlos Palazuelos was detained, because his father was a registered S offender, and he was listed as living in Tucson. You can look him up on the National Registry. And Carlos's cell phone may have pinged in that neighborhood or even on that street because he was a third-party delivery driver in Tucson. And at the beginning of the case, remember, the police and the FBI were looking at all the registered S offenders in the neighborhood. So I think that's how Carlos got brought in. But I'd still like to know, why did they focus on Luke and then immediately go, no, and let him go? Because he was never arrested. Tricia says, exactly, Jet, and because of his rap sheet, they went all in. Yeah, but his rap sheet Daly's rap sheet is for drugs. He doesn't have like burglary, robbery, kidnapping, to my knowledge. Apparently, I mean, I haven't looked, but from what everybody's saying, he had possibly a drug problem, and his rap sheet is drug related. Trisha, Kathy, you got the money ball rolling. Yeah, so that's the question I ask every day. Why was he targeted? And remember, the same evening that he was detained at the Culver's parking lot. Oh my God, what's going on? Oh my God, I love you too, you guys. Oh God, you don't make me cry on my live. I appreciate all of you. I'm glad, my friend who just had a heavenly birthday on the 28th, if she were here, she would give me the biggest hug because she was in the entertainment industry and she was going to do a show about PIs. And I told her that most people here don't know this, but I was offered a huge television show called Diva Detective. And it was going to be produced by the Nashville network. And they already had a commitment. They already had the contract with the network. This wasn't just some production company. They were local here in LA. They weren't like, hey, we're going to develop this. Like, no, they already had the script. They already had the show. They already had the contract with the network. They interviewed over 2,000, from what I've been told, female detectives across the United States, and they chose me. And I turned it down. And years later, when I met my friend, and she was like during the COVID pandemic, and she was quarantined, but then she did come out of quarantine to meet me because I was, going through radiation and going through a hard time. And she would bring me Starbucks. She told me all about this show and all her plans, and she even showed me the intro video that she had made. And um, she was meeting with all these different networks, but doing like Zooms because nobody could meet in person. And she talked about like, hey, have you ever done like anything on television? You know, like, would you do this? Or she was kind of thinking about it because she was even dreaming that we were doing the show together. And she was yelling at the cameraman saying, oh, no, 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 April doesn't want to be on camera. Because, and then I think it kind of upset her when I told her, like, yeah, long before you were like in this industry or just training to be in this industry, I got picked out of like, and they called me for like a year, begging me, begging me. And they said, there's a lot of money involved and, you know, you're going to be on television. And I'm like, you know what? I am so busy running my business. I don't have time to be on the cover of TV Guide. Like, we were just laughing about it. And all these PIs were like, oh my God, you should have done it. You should have done it. And so I can go to the grave to know that, I was going to be Diva Detective. And the show ended up never getting made because they couldn't find anybody else that they wanted. And I understand that because when she did the Weather Channel and she had her own show on the Weather Channel, they looked 4 years um, before they found the right host for that. No, they searched 2 years, excuse me. They searched 2 years and then she was on the show for 4 years. And when it was done, it was just done. And so, she had this idea to produce this big PI show. And then she met me. And, I have been doing this for, 30 plus years when she met me. And she was just getting into it. And all the other female PIs that she worked with were like, wow, you got to meet April Davis. Like, she's really tops in the industry. And so she reached out to me. And it just so happened that I was suffering from stage 3 cancer and my life had imploded. And let me tell you, if she were here right now, in the physical sense and not just in the spiritual sense, she would be so proud of me that, even with my teeth and my neck and I have no makeup on my face, like I'm just here. This is what I have, you know. Uh, she would be so proud. And so you guys supporting this means the absolute world to me. Yeah, I was going to be Diva Detective. Um, I had a typist once. I still know her. She works for me occasionally, but I'm mostly retired now. And she used to call me Death Detective because I did so many cases involving the deceased. Oh, thank you. I like to think so, Tricia. I mean, what you see is what you get. I'm totally transparent here. But I'm also a very private person too. Uh, and I've always been that way. You know, I'm not um one to I have a Facebook page, but like I don't really other than putting my pets up there and these cute eagles and their babies, I don't put anything about my personal life up there. Like it's April Davis PI. You know, people on Facebook they'll put their boyfriend or their girlfriend or their husband or their wife and oh, in a relationship as of this day and this time and this second. And I just, I'm a very private person. I have nothing to hide. But, you know, when we talk about a subject here, that's what we're going to talk about. You guys can ask me anything, um, but I'm not always going to be able to answer it. Tricia says, I left a few bucks in there and hoping they rub together and build a happy little family. What did I miss? um, triple D, Diva Detective Davis. April in the world of fakes, you're refreshingly will. Okay, we read that. My son may be moving in with a friend. Is that a good thing? Okay, must have missed all that. Tricia says, just did rent, utilities, and groceries. My bank card is on life support. Yeah, you know what? The first always kills me. And I just not only, I'm on a very limited disability income. I don't have that six-figure business anymore. And my car insurance for 6 months came due. That was $1,100. And last month's pharmacy bill came through. That was $895 because I have a $2,100 copay. Thank you, Medicare. You're a joke. I never signed up for Medicare. It was given to me early. Yeah. So not only did I have to pay my rent, which is almost the amount of my check, and then there's no money left over for like my cell phone, my utilities, my groceries. I had to pay the 1,100. It was 1198 or something like that. It was almost $1,112, and the 895 pharmacy bill just to catch up. God forbid I need to go pick up another prescription. I will owe for that too until I meet that 2,100. Then the ring light, the microphones. Like like the car needs tires. It needs a fuel injection clean for the first time. It's probably going to need brakes at some time. I mean, I've never had to live like this before in my life. So the stress that I live with this illness and all the trips back and forth to the hospital. Oh, and there was another hospital bill that was over $100 from an emergency room doctor. I just paid 3 ambulance bills. Like, and every time that something happens and I end up back in the hospital, there's an ambulance bill, a hospital bill, and an emergency room bill. Now the hospital, they've given me some financial assistance, but it doesn't cover everything. So even though I'm making pennies on this channel, like pennies on this channel, you guys mean the world to me. This is keeping me sane. 4 minutes for the 10th donation. Oh yeah, I see a little. I'll set up a new one after that expires the time. Thanks for bringing that up because when the clock expires, oh excuse me, I'm choking on my diet cranberry. When the clock expires, I'm not sure if, since there's not a goal set, going to receive a donation during that time. Like hopefully, because remember we had that show where the clock kept expiring every 30 minutes and people were yelling saying, I sent you money and I can't send a donation. And I think a lot of that was probably just people, being facetious, saying that they had sent money. Let's see. Anyone got $1? Hey! We met the goal! Oh my God! Yeah, Diet Cranberry is bomb. Especially since I've had that kidney surgery. This is something that I have to rely on to stay alive. Country Roads with Mike. No, I didn't. The shell was at the bottom. Country Roads with Michelle. Oh my God. This is more than on my first show. And I'd already met the goal. So is it still working even though I didn't set the goal? Country putting the cherry on top. Thank you so much, Country Roads with Michelle. I just saw the top when it said Country Roads with Mike. And I'm like, I haven't seen that before. I didn't read the whole thing. YouTube is hard. Gosh, I got to heart all these. Thank you so much. Now, what happens now that the goal's been achieved? Let's see. Oh, hi, Tom Bender. Are you new here? If so, where are you coming in from? I hope you're following me, Tom. Love you, April. Love you too, Jay. Yes, but isn't going towards a goal. Okay, so Tricia, you're saying after the goal is met, I can still get the super chats? And, not to ask for money here, but do you guys realize that when you're watching these lives on a replay, or you're watching the long form content videos, if you look up at the top of the screen where it's got the title and then it shows how many thumbs up, share, save, clip, report, and you just, it depends on if you're on a phone or you're on a computer or you're on an iPad, but all those little buttons, like when you're watching a video and you want to hit the thumbs up, or you want to share the video, or you want to save the video so you can watch it later, or you want to make a clip from that video, there's a little button that says thanks. That's just like a super chat, but it's called a super thanks. So when I'm not on the air, if you want to, you see a video and you're like, oh, I really like this, you can send a super thanks. Most people, they don't realize that. I didn't know the difference because I'm like, well, I know there's super thanks and there's super chat and there's super stickers. But on this, because it's vertical and they signed me up for these jewels, which convert to rubies, I guess that replaces super stickers. And they are pushing vertical lives because people are on cell phones mostly that are watching. So that's why we're doing it on a phone. That's why we're doing it vertical. And it's like 100 jewels ends up being like $1. Y'all have been amazing. April may not get a check for her birthday. No, I won't get an April 21st check. I thought it came between the 12th and but no, they said that the checks will come around the 21st, but it's a month behind. Oh, somebody sent a gift. How much does it say? I don't know. It doesn't say. Sent a marshmallow high. Oh, it says 50. Okay, now it popped up. Here you go. And there's another one. There's a smiling sunshine. Thank you. Now it says I have 150, so I guess that means I have $1.50. And is that before they take out fees or after they take out fees? I'm not sure how that works. But I finally understood that if somebody's sending me a super chat or a super thanks, and they're sending it via an Android device or a desktop, that I will net just under 70%. But if they're sending it on an Apple device, there's something called the Apple tax, which is actually charged not to me, but to YouTube. And therefore, whatever you donate, I would see less than 50%. So if you sent like a $10 super chat, well, if it was an Apple, it would be $9.99. Then I would see less than half of that. But if you sent an Android one or a desktop version, I don't know about, well, iPad, that's Apple, so it would probably be the 0.99 rather than the 0.00. So we're looking at less than 50% versus 70%. So how much of this I'm actually going to see, it depends on where it came from, what the denomination was. Was it Apple? Was it Android? Was it desktop? And they calculate all the totals like 2 days behind, and then they pay it out the following month. So it is what it is. Oh, I can't get rid of this this little jewel. It's blocking my screen. How do I take this jewel off my screen? There we go. You sent me a birthday gift on PayPal. God. And you know what? My notifications are turned off during my lives because if I forget to turn them off and like one of my pill alarms goes off, it cuts out the audio and wipes out the show. Kellyanne, this is incredible. Oh my God. Join the fun, Kelly. This is crazy. You know, I was just here to do a short show because, and if you just came in, make sure you watch this from the beginning. Thank you, Recluse. We wanted to talk about the Chelan County, Washington Sheriff's Department police report. Hey, you know what? I have water here and I have this here and it's going through me. So I'm going to take my mic off for a second so I don't have a hot mic. And for any of the mods that are still here, I think Trish is still here. Yes, you're still here. Can you do your magic and run the chat for like 1 minute? Thank you. What did I miss? Is Trisha going to do her song and dance routine while I'm Can you hear me now that I have the mic back on? Oh, you guys are too funny. This is crazy. Kelly, can you tap dance? We will entertain the masses. Yeah, because of all the medical stuff, I have to constantly hydrate. And one of my mods, she's always like, April, did you drink today? Did you drink your water today? My sister used to ask me that a lot when she helped take care of me for like 3 different chemo sessions. Well, no, 2 chemo sessions and a surgery. And she's like, did you drink your water today? Did you drink your water today? And every time I go into the urology office, because of the stones that were created probably from my treatment, they're like, did you drink 96 ounces of water today? Like, if I drank that much, I would be in the hospital. There's no way. Oh, you guys, this is just crazy. We were just getting warmed up to see Kelly tap and Jay bailed out a song. Well, you know, if I was really a professional YouTuber and I could afford to have that StreamYard, we could actually bring some of you guys in and, you know, we could actually see that. But I am not that good yet. I'd be happy just to be able to figure out OBS. Used to dance before 11 strokes. Oh, wow. I can't dance at all. Yeah, bless you, Jay. I'm so glad you're here. I shouldn't be here from what I've been through. And some days I have good days and some days I have bad days. And I'm not good in the morning, but as the day goes on, probably because I get more hydrated and I get some food in my stomach, my energy kind of pumps up a little bit. And some days, I can go to the store and I can do my laundry. And some days I'm just like, not today. Okay, for $15.99 a month, you can have up to 99 people on the panel and it doesn't heat your phone as bad. Yeah, this phone it doesn't heat as bad as my Whatnot account, but it does have problems charging. Do not do StreamYard, do Zoom. Yeah, but I don't think we would get paid then through YouTube. I mean, we would if we could connect the YouTube to StreamYard. They had like a free setup and I like connected it, but I need to learn OBS at first. So, like when I'm talking live, I can show you a screen. I just remember I'm not some of these bigger YouTubers. But wow, today, oh my God, look at the total. The total, now, of course, I don't get all of this. I would see anywhere from like 49 to 69% of this, but it says 74.49 and 150 rubies on my end, or jewels. See the jewels? 100 jewels, I think, converts to 1 ruby, something like that. You can stream from YouTube from Zoom. Oh, I didn't know that. See, I'm learning something new every day. When I go live, I stream from Zoom to YouTube. Oh, that's interesting. Tricia seems to know more about this than I do because she's been able to answer so many of my questions. And so now that we met the goal, I can just click start another, but you could still donate even without the goal going from what you have said. I'm going to write it again. I'll ask you a question as soon as I can see the screen again. Start goal. Oh, Kathy, thank you. You sent a gift membership. Oh, welcome in, JetSep. You just received a 1-month membership to April Davis PI sent by Kathy. And this is for you, Kathy. Oh, you may only want to do 1 goal a stream. Okay. Yeah, I know Kermudge says like he does 1 every hour and he has 4, but then he just keeps resetting it. So I'm not sure. Or I could just do it without the goal. Yeah, welcome in, JetSep. I really appreciate you guys. That's so nice of you. Kathy, thank you so much. You didn't need to do that, but I'm sure JetSet is very happy about that. Trisha says, you are a star now, Jet. Well, not that you weren't a star all the time, but yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, and I only have 2 tiers of membership. So I think when you do the gift, it's the lower tier. So that would normally cost you $4.99 a month, but you're getting it for 1 month free. And when it expires, I don't know if they like tell you it's expired, or maybe you get like an email that's associated with your YouTube account that says your membership is about to expire. I'm not really sure. And green is your favorite color. That's so awesome. Yeah, I like green. My favorite is pink, though. But I'm also a big fan of blue. Hey! Oh my God. What the heck? I just hit the wrong button. Here you go. Kellyanne Sullivan. Thank you very much. Kellyanne, thank you so much. I saw the other Kelly in here earlier, but I don't know if she's still here. Is the other Kelly still here? Moneyball, rolling, rolling, rolling. You know what they have? I don't know if you guys can see it on your screen, but they have something called a super chat train. And apparently it depends on how much is donated as to, and the color, it depends on the amount and how you donated it. And then the train goes across the bottom of the screen. I know on my desktop, you see it across the top, but I've never had a super chat train, but I had one today. And it was at the bottom of my chat. I could see it. And then on my iPad, I see it on the top of the chat. Yeah, because the train, the icons, they like form like a train. I've heard people say, let's start a super chat train. But those are like big channels where they have like, 1 million people or something. This is your pre-party birthday party. Hey, yeah. I told you, at this age, I'm celebrating for the whole month. PJMB products. I was walking today and the rain turned into a wet slush. Okay. I don't know what that's about, PJ. Howdy. Welcome in, but we are talking about Jonathan Lee Riches from JLR Investigates, and here is the police report filed by his former domestic partner or girlfriend. And everybody here, if you're watching this, JLR, everybody is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Yeah, do you realize that this report is available free? Yep. So it's out there. And apparently they got a lot of requests. It took about a week for them to get back to get this to me. But remember, now if this man is guilty and this man did do these atrocious acts, then I expect to see him charged, arrested, tried, and convicted if he is guilty of those charges, because there is absolutely no excuse for crime and no excuse for violence. And just because the man has a past criminal record involving financial fraud and has anywhere from, I've heard, 2,000 to 4,000 civil lawsuits, which is a separate situation, that does not mean that what these recent allegations are from Christmas in Washington, that there's any truth to this. Yes, the woman did have a black eye. She did have bruising. She claims it's happened before. Has she ever called the police before? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, and a possible broken nose. That takes a lot to get a broken nose. If I got a broken nose, I would bleed to death because I'm on a blood thinner. He supposedly beat the living crap out of her when she accessed his phone in the hotel room in Washington. But it's alleged. And she called the cops the next day, and they came out and they took her to the hospital and they took pictures and evidence. And they determined that this white Jeep Compass that was in the hotel parking lot was not the same white Jeep Compass that they had rented from SeaTac. Because it wasn't their car. It was just a rental, so she didn't know the plate. She didn't know if that... She said, yeah, it looks like the car, but it turned out that was some other guest that was at the hotel, apparently. And then she did, the next day, she ended up getting a different plane ticket on a different flight because she didn't want to run into him at the airport and, have to sit next to him on the plane back to Tampa. Hey, Heather. Welcome in. Have you been here before, Heather? I hope everybody that's watched this today is subscribed to my channel and that they click the bell icon, click all. Make sure that in your phone settings, you scroll down to your apps in YouTube and you make sure you turn on your notifications. It's very important. Thank you for all the red hearts. Thank you for smashing that like button. And these videos have been mostly about Nancy Guthrie thus far. And this is in a roundabout indirect way. It kind of is through the 6 degrees of separation since this guy's been reporting boots on the ground. And the Duggars. Yeah. I do have other videos, though, about the Menendez brothers. Remember the missing girl from Hawaii, Hannah Kobayashi? I have quite a few videos on her. I think I might have deleted some of hers. Today we were talking about the arrest report on Jonathan Lee Riches, who runs the YouTube channel JLR. And since you're just new coming in here, I'll tell you that everyone on my channel is innocent until proven guilty. But it's an interesting read, because if he did do what he's being accused of, then I think he should be, there's even charges listed at the bottom of the report, but they couldn't find him because supposedly he had left the area. He may have even changed his plane ticket too and left early. I don't know. The offense that was listed was domestic violence, but, was anything official filed? I mean, they were going to go arrest him, and then it would be up to the district attorney as to whether or not they were going to charge him. But they said they had, in this report, it says, I have probable cause to arrest Jonathan L. Riches with his date of birth for violating RCW 9A.36.021, assault in the second degree DV, which stands for domestic violence. Also for RCW 9A.46.020.2B, which is harassment, threats to kill DV, and RCW 98.36.150, which is interfering with the reporting of a domestic violence. So they wanted to arrest him on these three things, but he was no longer in the area. But as far as I know, there's not an actual warrant out for his arrest, from what I've heard. And he is now involved with this case, civilly speaking, in the state of Arkansas. April, he has started his live. Oh, you mean Kermudge? Yeah, I'm going to go join him there. But not right at this second, because we have 23 people watching. If I don't see the beginning, I'll be able to watch it on the playback, the playback later tonight. Who said this? Oh, Kathy. This is funny. Now, this is Kathy's words, not mine. Duggars are guilty until proven innocent. You know what I don't understand? Supposedly the reason he got held in the jail in Washington County, Arkansas, is because they had planned to arrest him and charge him in the state of Florida for felony SA of a child under the age of 12. And he allegedly admitted these crimes to the father of the victim, who apparently may be his own father-in-law, even though the victim, who would allegedly be his young sister-in-law, who's now 14, he supposedly told him that he did this when confronted. The day he was confronted, which I believe was March 17th, and he was in jail the next day. And he also, according to reports, gave a confession to Tontitown detectives, which an arrest and an incarceration ensued. They then talked to their law enforcement people in Florida. But then when he actually got extradited to Florida and was charged later that morning in his arraignment hearing, which was done from the jail via Zoom, he pled not guilty. But yet, while he was incarcerated, waiting for the hearing, or I guess while he was still possibly when he was in jail in Washington County, Arkansas, because he spent a lot more time there than he did in Florida, he reportedly wrote letters to every single person, including all of his siblings and his immediate family, apologizing for his actions and possibly stating, that I understand you're very disappointed in me. And he brought God into the conversation on a cell phone call with his wife while incarcerated, that he lost his way and he chose to associate with the wrong people. So he's basically admitting to the crime. But when he had to officially make a plea, either guilty, innocent. In court, he said innocent. Now, it sounds like Jim Bob got him a good lawyer, and that lawyer told him to plead innocent. But yet, I don't know how that's going to help him in court when there's a confession to the father of the victim, there's a confession to Tawnytown detectives who could easily be called as witnesses to testify in that case in Florida. And then there's all these letters and emails between he and the family. I mean, I guess the only one that couldn't testify against him would be his own wife. And she's in trouble now, too. And now that he's back in Arkansas, did he have to go face someone in court or at the jail for the misdemeanor charges? Well, I believe they're misdemeanor charges, the ones for the child endangerment in Arkansas, because she had to bail out in order to leave. He never had to because he was going on the slow bus to Florida. But then he was able to fly back to Arizona with Jim Bob Duggar, his father. What about those pending charges that are in Arkansas? What about those? Oh, okay. We're talking about the other live. Okay. Josh's tower near the junk car parking lot. HLS pinged his tower. Oh, you mean that piece of crap used car business that was given to him by his father to run? But he like ran it into the ground because, he was too busy accessing child P, 4-letter word, on his computer. And then when he got caught, he blamed apparently an employee, since, he's just locked in a room. And there were evidence pictures from that case. And that car dealership, the desk and the room that he operated out of was filthy. And there was all kinds of like food wrappers and garbage in the place. And it was just dirty and grimy. And so they had to hire someone to actually get out on the damn lot, excuse my language, and sell the cars. Because he was too busy locked in a room going. And they're like, well, that's not a physical hands-on crime. But do you realize anytime you go to one of those sites on the dark web and you put your credit card in and you pay for something like that? I mean, I don't even know how to access the dark web, and I'm a detective. That money is going into the hands of criminals that are trafficking these kids, especially in other countries. They were even trafficking babies. And this guy's sitting there at a computer in Arkansas, supposed to be running the piece of crap used car business, while his wife is at home popping out 7 babies, And this is a guy who his brother Josh, he never faced charges for all the essays against his own sisters. Somebody like that can never be rehabilitated. And if Joseph has done that too, he will never be he can say all day long that he did it and that he's sorry and he's ashamed, but he will never be rehabilitated in my mind. That's just my humble opinion. Yeah, well, Jim Bob screwed up with emails and recorded calls. Yes, I agree, Kathy. Jay says those letters are probably admissible. Yes. He had 12 emails from Jim Bob. I haven't heard about I've heard about it, but what did some of those emails say, or should we even discuss it here? June. Hey, June. I'm April. We don't want him back in Florida. Well, he'll be going there. In fact, it's like this month, I think he has to be back in court. Who was in jail in Illinois? Kathy says, yes, ma'am, he was in jail in Illinois. Who was in jail in Illinois? What have I missed? Caleb was in jail on those days in the state of Illinois. Who is Caleb? May 15th through the 17th. Is that the employee that worked at the used car lot for Josh? Computers and phones record everything you do, yes. And apparently some of the photos he downloaded to his phone, and there's like a picture of his feet or something sitting at that desk, like crazy. Yeah, Leanne says never ever. Never ever go on the dark web. The second you do, they get all of your information. I don't even know how to do it. I don't want to know how to do it. Nobody talk about that here. How to do it. Caleb, the guy that Josh tried to frame. Oh, okay. Yeah, but he didn't do it according to the case where Josh Duggar was convicted of doing those dirty, atrocious deeds. I guarantee it. I watched the trial. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know much about him, but supposedly he was cleared. I didn't know his name was Caleb, or I didn't remember. Remember, I'm not without a crystal ball. Now all we need is a May. Exactly. I agree with you, Leanne. And sometimes I feel bad for saying that they never ever get better, but I've seen this all the time in my job, and I don't specialize in those kinds of cases, but I've done those kind of cases, and they never ever get better. Remember Jeffrey Dahmer? He was asked on a news interview, I think it was 2020, and he said if he gets out, he'll do the same thing again because he can't help himself. Now, that's no excuse because he has some sort of a sickness. That's no excuse. They never ever get better. I agree. I agree, Leanne. Who have I missed? Remember, I'm not on the computer, so there could be some comments that are coming up on the desktop that I cannot see on the iPad or the cell phone. So if I haven't acknowledged you, it's because I can't see you. Thank you, Rod. Yeah, what a show. My gosh. For the first time ever, I hit my super chat goal. And I got 150 joules. She won't notice your compliments without a $50 super chat. Trisha. She also did the Johnny Depp trial. Who did the Johnny Depp trial? You know, one of the homicide detectives that I worked with LAPD, he was a expert witness in that trial, and I missed it. I didn't know until after he had went on the stand. Thank you, Rod. Your answer was Emily. Oh, Live with Emily. Is that another YouTube channel? Did she cover the Johnny Depp trial? Yeah, I know a lot of YouTubers, but I don't know everybody. It was funny because somebody referred someone, and I saw that name pop up in my feed, and I watched a video, and the guy was saying that the guy that got arrested at the police station, the Pima County Sheriff's deputy, that that he was connected to the Nancy Guthrie case, and it was like, no, he's not. It's two different things. Like, it's two totally different things. Um, oh, okay. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, I haven't heard that one. Yeah, that was crazy between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Things weren't looking good for her, I didn't think. But we all don't know what happens behind closed doors. Yeah, apparently she's bankrupt from all of that. Well, if it wasn't true, she should be, but I didn't follow that trial every day. Okay. Yeah, I can't, when I got monetized, Kathy, everybody here, they said that there's two subjects I can't talk about. And one starts with a G and one starts with a D. So I don't even say the words. And it makes me wonder if you're not allowed to talk about G that ends with a G, how are these YouTubers that do lottery channels, because that is a form of G, how are they allowed to be monetized? And I know that they are monetized because the people, they go out and they buy these scratchers, and then they get these trolls that come in and go, "Oh, you're never going to win and you're such a loser." And to these people that do these professional lottery channels, and they scratch and they scratch and they scratch and they go on like almost every day, and they have full-time jobs, and a lot of these guys are married and have partners, but they're just like, let's buy a whole stack of scratchers and let's scratch them live. And then these trolls write in and go, "You're such a loser and you're gonna be bankrupt and you're gonna lose it all." And then they're like, "Well, actually, my Google AdSense covers all my ticket costs." And then some of these trolls are like, "Well, what's Google AdSense?" Like you think these people are just taking their own money out of their pocket and going on YouTube and they're building like a 1 million subscriber channel? They got an extra million lying around or a 500,000 for all these tickets. Like, no, that's they're getting paid to scratch them on YouTube. They'll start out small, they'll build their subscriber count. Everybody likes to watch this, like they like to watch something that's dramatic or a train wreck or a plane crash, and they're like, let's see this guy lose or let's see this guy win. And I've watched a few of those channels here and there, and they've all say in their comments like, um, no, I more than make up for it in my AdSense, in my Google AdSense, because they've got, huge amount of subscribers, and they got tens of thousands of views, and sometimes six-figure views on all of their videos, like especially if they win, because there's a 40% chance in most states that you're gonna win something. And every now and then I'm sure there's somebody on the channels that hit something and they're like, see, I won. And then they're like, "Oh, we just got another 1,000 subscribers because this guy won $10,000." And I can't imagine that people just tune in every single day, and they even sell like those little scratcher coins that are like inclusive to their channel. Where they get like a custom made poker chip or a scratcher coin, and they're like, and you just see the chat going, and the super chats and the super thanks, and it's just like crazy. Um, uh, oh, she was blacklisted when all that came to light. Exactly, Jay. Either would I. I wouldn't tell anybody. And if I did win, I would like it to be one of those where you can take the lesser amount for cash rather than getting the payments, because a lot of those like scratcher lotteries, you have to take 26 payments over 25 years. And, I don't have that kind of time left on earth. So I would be like, can I take the smaller amount for cash? I told the husband I might or might not even tell him. But yeah, has anybody ever seen those channels? Those are crazy. And they don't talk about anything else. Like it's just about that. That's called a niche channel. But when I got remonetized, there was a little note at the end saying, these are the two topics you can't talk about. And one started with the letter D and one started with the letter G. So if somebody sends me a scratcher, you'll never see me scratching this channel because I can't talk about that. And I've never done anything like that on my channel ever. Oh, crazy. It's amazing what people will watch on YouTube. I wish I had my own house with a backyard rather than just this apartment, because I would hire like a professional person to come over that could help me set up cameras and enough power to go to those cameras to keep them running all night long, and have it connected to YouTube somehow where I could show like the wildlife. Those are getting pretty popular. The wildlife channels, where the raccoons and the skunk and the deer, and those are pretty cool. But there's so many of them. So we've totally gotten off topic here. But this video, if you want to go to the beginning, I guess I should go check out Kermudge's live, but if you want to go to the beginning, this is about the Chelan County, Washington Sheriff's Department police report on JLR investigates. Remember, Jonathan Lee Riches, if you're watching, you're innocent until proven guilty. But if you are guilty, you're probably going to have to pay the piper for this. And you could watch what was going on from anywhere. Exactly. But apparently you can't run those like 24 hours a day or they'll take you down. You can only run those like for 12 hours at a time. But hey, that's not going to happen. And we have all kinds of wildlife here at night. It's crazy. I could probably just set up a camera in the bushes in front of my apartment building, but somebody would rip it off. Put one of those wildlife cameras up and see what we get. But then I'd have to, retrieve that video and put it into a long form content. And so many people here, and I'm not criticizing any of you guys. I love all of you that are watching my vertical lives. But please go to my main channel page, go to the home page and check out some of the videos. And there's all different kind of categories there. Or you guys can just continue to watch the lives. You watch mostly true crime and family. Nothing wrong with that. I specifically, I've been watching, they're showing a photo of the eggs, a close-up, because one of them is starting to hatch. It usually takes a couple of days once you see the pipping. I don't know, but it looks like just one of the eggs so far, and the mama bird, she's rolling her eggs right now. But there's a lot of fluff in the nest, so it's kind of hard to see. But earlier today, I think I heard the chirps. I was like, oh my God, it's the chirps. Trisha says you come from the drama community. Oh, Leanne says I thought of a game camera too. Yeah, the eagles, the Big Bear eagles, those are very near and dear to my heart, being a proud Angelino. They're up at Big Bear Mountain. And a lot has happened the past few months up there. A lot of bad things, but we have a second clutch of eggs, and it looks like at least one of them is pipping right now. And the birds have been listening because they can, when they lay on the eggs, they have a brood patch that puts heat into the egg, and they don't have as much feathers on their brood patch because these eagles have over 7,000 feathers, but they have a brood patch on their belly, and they can feel the little vibrations when they're getting ready to hatch. And they can also hear the chirps, and you can see the daddy like, can I hear you? Can I hear you? And so that was a very good sign the other day when the eagles started listening to their eggs. You also like law channels. Me too, because I've worked in the law my entire career. Jane says, I watched Jackie from Florida. I don't know that channel. Kellyanne, I heard that he did that and he told her to get the kids, which now the kids have been taken away from both. Are you talking about Joseph Duggar? I must have missed a comment. And remember, I might not be seeing all the comments here on the vertical. Oh, thank you, Tricia. You had to time somebody out. Thank you. I didn't even see that. Thank you so much. Your help means the world to me. And Kathy, welcome to being a member today. I know I've said that before, but I want you to know how much I appreciate that. You're the only second paid member that I have. And then you also gifted a membership today to someone to Jet Set. I appreciate that. I don't know Lucas and Marcus on YouTube. Hi, Rihanna Rodriguez. Welcome in. Jay says, had a very old high school science teacher in my small town that had actually named birds. He was great. Yeah, I love wildlife. Like I said, if I had my own place, I'd be out there because I don't sleep at night anyway. I'd be out there filming the wildlife. And we have some very, very large raccoons in Los Angeles and at this building. And you just don't see them until after dark. And many of my neighbors had seen them for years, like, oh, you haven't seen them? And I'm like, no. And then last year I finally saw one, and it was gigantic. And I was like, oh my God, there he is. And I'm running out with my phone, and he was looking right at me. And I tried to film, but it was too dark. You call all crows Silas. Oh, I'm glad you're still here, Jet Set. I love birds, but with a cat and a bunny, I would just not be able to have a bird. I have such a small place. A bird would just we'd all be losing our minds, and it would be too tempting for the cat and too terrifying for the bunny. Like if she just hears the plastic bag that I put in the trash can for the liner, she's like, ah, because she thinks it sounds like, bird wings flapping. But I love birds. And there's a bird place in Toluca Lake, which is near me. There's you can get in. They have all kinds of African gray parrots and Kathy says, I love watching birds, rabbits, and squirrels, frogs, and the possums. Yeah, we have a lot of possums here. And if you'd like to watch rabbits, Kathy, I have 2 rabbits on my YouTube channel. Just go to my my animals playlist. You can see cats and bunnies. I've also got my hummingbird videos too. But they seem to not go active when I put the tripod out there because they're like, what's that? The tripod. And then they don't come. Kathy is the MVP today. Membership, gifted a membership, and started the first completed goal. Yes, you did start it. And then this guy came in from Israel. Well, I presume he's from Israel since he was paying with Israeli, is it shekels? How many super chats did that guy send? Was it like 9 or something? And when I close out this video, the super chats, they don't come back. Like I won't see that until YouTube processes the video and they re-upload the chat. The video comes back pretty soon after I go off the air, but the chat. So if you guys, come in tonight, you won't be able to see the chat, but you can always place a comment in the comment section. Everyone knows the cardinal, unless it's the female, then it's a reddish-brown bird. I didn't know that. Hey, Oregon Newsbeat, welcome in. You're kind of coming in at the end, but let me see what you have to say. Hey, I have some breaking news to share with you, but I don't have the time right now, but I'd love to share with you and your audience. Wondered if you could come back on later tonight. I probably won't because I've already been on for almost 2 hours. Hi, Matthew. I'm doing good. How are you? Yeah, I don't think I'll be on at that time. I'm sorry. I'll have to go in on another show soon. You're doing good, Matthew. Kathy says they are great, aren't they? I sit outside a lot and they would actually sit by my chair. Oh, you mean the Cardinals? Oh, he did 8, Trisha says. Was it 8? I don't think I'll be on at that time, Morgan. I'm sorry. I've already done the show for today. And Kelly did the cherry on top. Oh, someone sent me the birthday cake. Yeah, my birthday is the 12th, but you know what? At my age, we're going to celebrate the whole month. You missed it earlier. I got what did I get? Like 10 super chats? Yes, I do, because I've worked a lot in animation in my PI career. And this was actually gifted to me. I've done a lot of work for Disney too, but this was gifted from someone in the neighborhood. That's why I often wear my Warner Brothers shirts, my vintage Warner Brothers, because of some of the work I've done in the animation industry. Oh, Jay did the final. Okay. So Kathy started it and Jay ended it, but the guy from Israel came in, and then Kelly. I don't even know anymore. It happened so fast. And somebody came in. Who came in with two separate jewel, like the icons? One was a sunshine, and I don't remember what the other one was. Those pop up like that, and then it's just like a flash, and then it's gone. So if I look at the other screen, I don't even see it. But I'll see like a little gift box at the bottom, and I'll have to click it to see like, oh, who sent that? Oh, Jay came in under 3 minutes. You mean before the goal ended? Yeah, I'm still not sure how I should set the goals. I've got another one now, but I already met the first goal, so. But I guess even if the goal ends, let me do this. I'm just going to remove this goal, this current one. I'm going to remove it. Okay, so there's no goal on the screen. But even so now, because I know Trisha, you have your own channel apparently. Now that the current goal has been taken down, people can still send, like if they chose to do so. Because I think I asked you this earlier. Yep, it was Kathy, and then it was Shekels, and then it was Jay. Oh, hi, I didn't see you, Trump USA. I must have missed that. Is it on my screen? I saw Matthew Tupper in Oregon News Beat. Oh, there you are. Have I seen you before, Trump USA? Mojo did the jewels, I believe. You know what? I don't even know. It was Mojo. I've got my Mojo. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, and it's not even my birthday yet. I'm still going to go live on my birthday. Well, I'm going live almost every day, but I just had got this the night before last on the email, this police report, and yesterday I already had something else that people wanted me to talk about. So we went a little off the topic of For the last couple days, we've gone off the topic of Nancy Guthrie, missing now for, gosh, how many days is it? Since February the 1st? Who can do the math? It was 28 days in February, 31 days in March, and today is the 3rd. Like 62 days now, is it? Goal is just to give people an incentive to give, but all super chats are counted. Oh, okay. So now that I've met my goal, somebody could still, if they came in later and said, oh, I want to send a super chat, there was still work, even though the goal was met. I'm really interested in these jewels. I'm not sure, like, I know that some of them are free for you guys, but then there's also an option to buy. But I guess every penny counts, you know? But the most important thing with income is views. And I don't have enough of those yet. I had enough. Had I been monetized from the day I went on the air with this Nancy Guthrie saga, then I had over 100,000 views just on that. But none of those counted until the night of the 25th. She is still in our hearts, but not really news. Yeah, there's just, I know Brian Hinton is back out there and JLR, who we talked about earlier here. But I seen Brian, he's just been conducting interviews, and he did a tour of the utility easement behind the property. That was interesting because it shows how rough that desert is. Like, I don't really think anybody exited her house via the back. I think somebody came in through the back and then they exited the front. And I do say they because I think it's more than one person involved. 60 days. It's too long. They should have been hot on the trail within the first 24 to 48 hours. And after that, the chances get slimmer and slimmer. Trisha says 61 days. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I got off that track for the last couple of days because we talked about Adam Walsh yesterday. And today we talked a little bit more about Jonathan Lee Riches. Which, if it weren't for the Nancy Guthrie case, truthfully, I wouldn't even know who he was. Well, if I could see my calculator here, I could just, I can't do the math while the chat's just flying by me. Oh, here's a calculator on the iPad. So we have 28 for February, 31 for March, and 3 for April. It's day number 62. 62. And apparently this coming Monday, that's when Savannah goes back to work at the Today Show. Can you imagine the ratings for that show on Monday? No, we were talking about some of the older news about Adam Walsh, but my point in the video was things are not always as they appear because the guy that was eventually believed to be the person that did it, even though he was never charged, things changed many years later when the Jeffrey Dahmer case happened, and it's very much a question mark. It always has been. That's why the police didn't close the case for like 27 or 28 years, but I still think the man that confessed is not the man that did it. You could go back and watch that. It was very interesting, Kelly. Some say yes, some say no. Yeah, what is today? Is today the 3rd or the 4th? I don't even know what day it is. Oh, today is the 3rd. Okay. Yeah, that's a tough one. Boy, I wish I had gotten paid for all those views, though, that I've done on the true crime series on Nancy Guthrie. Then I did a couple on Joseph Duggar. Then I did the one on Adam Walsh. What's the only thing that's really disappointed me is that the long form content video I did on the suspects in the Nancy Guthrie case, not a lot of you guys are watching that because I'm getting sometimes over 1,000 views on these lives, and I've got like 100+ views on that long form video, and that really helps me with the views and with the time. Regardless, this is going to be impossible to get a conviction. Jay, I think they have someone in mind. I think they are keeping quiet until DNA results come in. I hope that's true, Tricia. And it is going to be hard to get a conviction because that crime scene was just too compromised. Kathy says her son will be 39 next Friday. Oh, that's just 2 days before my birthday. Another Aries. Which suspect video? Oh, the one that I made. Okay. Hello. Ding, ding, ding. Old age. Remember, I'm another year older on the 12th. At my age, things just kind of go downhill. Thank you for watching it, Jet Set. Publicly, no, they have not figured out JonBenet Ramsey, but they had an inept police department just that reminds me a lot of Pima County Sheriff. There's a lot of similarities. I've got it figured out, but it's still an open case, so I'm not going to name my suspects here. But I probably know more about that case than any other case on the planet. Well, other than the Menendez brothers, because that just happened over the hill for me. I also know a lot about the OJ case because that happened in the neighborhood of LA that I was working in at the time, and the company I worked for at that time even had clients on his street that were his neighbors, and that was just crazy when that happened. So I know a lot about that. But JonBenet, yeah, I've always wanted to visit Boulder, Colorado, but I don't think I could ever live there because I would be thinking about that case all day long. Like I wouldn't be able to live my life if I lived in that town. Well, the eagle, she's going to roll the eggs again. And the camera operator, they zoom when she stands up to adjust or roll the eggs so that we can see the pipping, the pip marks. Okay, the egg on the right definitely has cracks in it. And I did hear chirps earlier today that I think the wind had calmed down in Big Bear enough to hear the chirps. Kathy. It's called Marshmallow Brain Soft and Squishy. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Tricia. Hit that like button, everybody. I'm just so I don't want to miss the babies being born. And they claim that only one of the eggs is pipping, but I thought the other egg was pipping too yesterday because I saw like a little dot. Because they can be a dot, it can be a star, it can be a crack. And I remember I think it was when baby Spirit was born, she was actually, she hatched when the father was in the nest and the mother came home and there was her baby. But usually they hatch with Jackie. I always like to see his reaction when he's been gone for the night and he comes back the next morning and he finds the eggs. And it's just, oh, and they're not, births all on the same day. They're usually, the eggs are born, or not born, but birthed like 3 days apart. And he just is so enamored, like his eyes are just like, oh, the eggs. And he's been hanging out lately, and he's been listening because they're feeling the vibrations and they're hearing the chirps. I can only be good for so long, then I get silly. It's okay. You were in an Arby's when OJ was found not guilty. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Jay and the jurors were interviewed later and said yes, they thought he was guilty, but they chose not to convict because they were tired of being oppressed. And they were socking it to the Rodney King case because of what happened with that. So they were like, we're going to get you. We're going to let him go. You got to watch the mod. She has a trigger finger. I went to the back end. I talked about this yesterday. Apparently there was 7 or 8 mods, and I don't even remember putting some of those people there. They may have been left over from before because I had been briefly, very briefly monetized in 2024. And I'm like, I got to start taking people out. And, these things are out of control and people are getting blocked. And I don't want anybody blocked. And I think I got some upset people here because they're like, who blocked me? And what? Yeah, that's inappropriate. Knighted by Queen Elizabeth. We don't, that's very inappropriate here. All the employees cheered. Tricia, also Brenda Moran, said that she could understand the domestic violence but couldn't go as far as the murder. I'm glad we're so much more educated now to know that these domestics can turn. Absolutely. It's like, Jeffrey Dahmer starting out with injuring and then killing small animals. And eventually he was SAing young boys. And eventually he was unaliving young boys and young men. And then that even progressed further to something that my mind can't even comprehend, to cannibalism. Like, somebody like that can never be okay, ever. And I thought that the jurors should have been charged. They swore to be impartial. Exactly, Tricia. Some of these comments, what a show this has been. But this is awesome. We got 79.48 today in super chats, and that's before, Google takes their big cut of that. I'll have to look back on them all and see which ones were Apple sent or Android sent or desktop sent. And we got 150 joules. Yeah, that's inappropriate here. Okay, we got to take somebody out. This person obviously does not understand how YouTube works. Yeah, there are many words that I cannot say here. But you know what? You're welcome to come back in and give me a few clicks in the next video. Because that's adding to my watch time, baby. I might have to get like a sledgehammer, and go bam when I have never personally blocked anybody since this channel was monetized. I had to block somebody years ago, and it was a female. That's all I'm going to say. And I think that female was writing me from a mental health facility, and that's the only person that I have ever blocked, and it was long before monetization. But then I went to I didn't know there was a block list on the back end, and I was like, how did all these people get blocked? Where did these people come from? But hey, I'm glad that YouTube is boosting this. It's boosting the algorithm and people are coming in, or you sweet people that are here that are following me every day and listening to these true crime videos wouldn't have found me. So, you got to take the good with the bad, I guess. There's pros and cons to everything. But you know what? I'm going to get off the air now, and I'm going to go get myself something to eat. I'm going to watch these eggs, and I got to go over to Curmudge's channel to see if he's still alive and say hello to him. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. And I will see you again soon. Thank you, everybody, for the memberships, the super chats. Thank you, Kathy, for gifting a membership. Thank you to, Gotta Get My Mojo, who gave me the jewels. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have 2.3K. In fact, before I go off the air, I'll check. What does it say now? Oh, it says I'm up to 2332. Wow, now that I never thought I'd get to 2K. Do you guys think I can actually make it to 3K? Because that would definitely help with bringing in more viewers. Because the subs don't really count as far as monetization. It's just they count in like trying to get it. But it's the views. That's if you're not making money on your views, you're not yet successful on YouTube. So could we get that count up to 3,000? What do you think? Jay says yes. Okay, I will see everybody later. I appreciate all of you. Have a good Friday. Happy Good Friday.